What's up, guys? Teddy Striker here, and this weekend the UFC is coming back to London, and Tom Aspinall is making his long-anticipated return exactly 1 year after what happened with his knee against Curtis Blades. And that was a tough fight because a lot of fans were excited for that. It was a pretty even matchup, and I don't even know if Tom Aspinall was gonna win that fight, but it was a very, very competitive matchup going into it. But the way it ended, it really, really does suck. But either way, Tom Aspinall is back a year after his knee injury. Now, when you come back from something like that, maybe he was injured going into the fight because he was aggressive early on against Curtis Blades. But when you return from that, oftentimes it's an injury that once it's already fractured, it's gonna be easier to injure again. It's gonna be it won't be as solid as it was before. Basically, for example, when Anderson Silva broke his leg, he still had problems with his legs. If you look at the fight with Jared Cannonier blasted him. It didn't take much for Anderson Silva to be okay, no, I can't take this. My leg it's already been broken, and I don't want anything like that to happen again. It's the same thing for a lot of guys. If you look at Thiago Santos, when he fought John Jones, he got his right leg beat up pretty bad, and he had something with his ACL because of those foot stomps that John Jones does, or knee stomps that he does, and he messed his knee up in the second round. And ever since that fight in 2019, Thiago Santos has been dealing with that injury. He's had it in several of his other UFC fights. I remember he took quite some time off between the John Jones fight and the Glover Teixeira fight, which I think that was his next fight, but I could be wrong. But he had to take a lot of time off. Aspinall is coming back a year. In my opinion, it could be a bit too soon. I would have preferred if he took a bit more time off. He's still pretty young. I think he's 30 years old, and for a heavyweight, it's not that old. Because the champion at heavyweight is currently 36 years old, or he could be 35, but turning 36 soon. The number 2 or 3 contender, Stipe, he's 42 years old. So some of these guys are getting up there in age. So 30 is not too old. It's not too bad for heavyweight, but I think he should be fine. I think he's had a great training camp. He's looked sharp in some of the clips I saw. And yeah, I think this is a fight that the UFC kind of put together to display their UK talent. They've done it in the past, for example with Molly McCann. This is the best example of it. But they put fighters in there who are clearly supposed to lose against them. Molly McCann's last 2 opponents in UFC London, they were put in there to lose basically. Someone like Paddy Pimblett, his first opponent. Yeah, you could say that, but with Jordan Levitt, you could say that too. But with that one, it was more of a competitive and even matchup. You could see they were relatively same level, but Paddy was just better, and you can't really say that the same for Tom Aspinall, except for this one, because his last 2 opponents were Volkov and Curtis Blades, and Volkov is a pretty dangerous opponent. But I think Tom Aspinall should have been the favorite over him. And Curtis Blades, it was actually more of a 50-50 fight. Very competitive. Curtis Blades, he's been in the top 5 for a long time. He was a tough, witty, crafty veteran. He wasn't that old, but, he had a lot of experience. So I guess he was, kind of a veteran. I guess compared to Tom Aspinall, not necessarily a gatekeeper, but, he was kind of a veteran. And yeah, that was a close fight, but Tom Aspinall got injured, so we never really got to see what would happen. But either way, this is a bit of a tune-up fight, but I don't mind though. I'd rather see this and see how he looks against a lesser opponent than if you toss him in there with a Cyril Gane or a Sergey Pavlovich or someone like that. But if he wins, I think he should take on the winner of Cyril Gane versus Sergey Spivak in September. Whoever wins that fights Tom Aspinall in January. But who knows? Let's see this guy first.